If your shoulder hurts, it's often because the small stabilizers quit and the big muscles start cheating. The delts and pecs keep pushing, the cuff taps out, and suddenly every press feels like a negotiation. And the worst part is what happens next. We stop training what we love, we rest and hope, and the shoulder gets even more sensitive because the system loses capacity. So today we're giving you the simplest shoulder-proof plan we've found. A 5-minute daily protocol you can do at home, plus the programming fixes that let us keep pressing for decades. No gimmicks. No, never lift again. Just better stabilizers, better scapular control, and smarter volume so the shoulder stops filing complaints. First, let's make the shoulder make sense in plain English. The big muscles are the engine. The rotator cuff is the steering and alignment system. The cuff isn't just the thing you tear. It's 4 small muscles whose main job is to keep the ball of the upper arm centered in the socket while we move and load the arm. When the cuff is undertrained, fatigued, or irritated, the ball drifts. The big muscles still try to create force, but now they're pushing a misaligned joint. That's when pressing gets cranky. That's when reaching overhead feels pinchy. That's when sleeping on it feels like we woke up in a bar fight. Now the second half of the story. Scapular control. The rotator cuff controls the ball. The scapula controls the socket. If the socket is lazy, the ball gets cranky. Our shoulder blade is the foundation for the arm. If it doesn't upwardly rotate and move smoothly on the rib cage, the cuff has to work overtime. So if we only do band external rotations and ignore the scapula, we're basically upgrading the steering wheel while leaving the tires flat. That's why the daily protocol isn't just cuff stuff. It's cuff plus scap plus a tiny posture reset. Here's the 5-minute daily protocol. 5 moves. 1 minute each. Easy enough to do daily, strong enough to matter. Rule: keep it smooth, keep it controlled, and stop 1 to 2 reps before failure. This is shoulder insurance, not shoulder punishment. Minute 1. Band external rotation. Elbow tucked to the side or slightly away from the body, wrist neutral, rotate out slowly. We should feel the back of the shoulder working, not the wrist, not the neck, not a shrug. If we feel traps dominating, the band is too heavy or we're rushing. Minute 2. Face pull to external rotation. Pull toward the face, then rotate the hands slightly back, pause, and return with control. This hits rear delts, external rotators, and mid to lower trap support. It's the undo too much pressing move that most lifters wish they started years ago. Minute 3. Scapular wall slides or serratus wall slides. Forearms on the wall, ribs down, slide up without flaring the rib cage. We're training upward rotation and serratus function so the shoulder blade actually does its job overhead. If we feel low back arching, we go shorter range and keep the ribs stacked. Minute 4. Row variation. Chest supported row if we have it, band row if we don't. Pause for 1 second at the top with shoulder blades gently back and down. No shrugging, no yanking, no neck row. Minute 5. Pick 1 reset. Dead hang if shoulders tolerate it, doorway pec stretch if hanging is cranky, or a quick thoracic extension drill over a foam roller. The goal is not to open everything forever. The goal is to stop living in shoulders forward posture all day, then acting shocked when pressing hurts. That's the daily protocol. 5 minutes. No drama. Done daily with light resistance, or 3 to 4 days per week with harder resistance. Now we earn the bigger win, the programming fixes. Because the best cuff routine in the world won't save us from a bad weekly plan. Fix number 1. Balance pushing and pulling volume. Most lifters press like it's a hobby and row like it's a punishment. A simple rule is 1 hard pulling set for every hard pressing set. If shoulders are irritated, we bias it to 2 pulling sets for every 1 pressing set for a few weeks. That means rows, pull downs, face pulls, rear delt work, and chest supported rows become main work, not the sad leftovers at the end. Fix number 2. Warm up the cuff before heavy pressing, not after. 1 or 2 light sets of external rotations or face pulls before we press can change how the whole session feels. This isn't a magical warm-up ritual. It's just turning on the steering before we floor the engine. Fix number 3. Stop maxing out irritated patterns. If flat barbell bench is cranky, we don't keep testing it like it's a personality contest. We swap to neutral grip dumbbells, push-ups on handles, a machine press, or a landmine press. Same muscles, less joint irritation, more training consistency. Fix number 4. Avoid sudden volume jumps. A lot of shoulder flare-ups aren't from one evil exercise. They're from doing normal exercises after an abnormal increase in load, reps, range, frequency, or intensity. The shoulder doesn't hate pressing. It hates surprise. Fix number 5. Use the 24-hour test. If the shoulder feels worse the next day, the dose was too high. Not, we're doomed. Not, we're broken. Just, we overshot capacity. So we adjust and keep going. Now let's talk overhead pressing, because this is where myths get loud. Overhead pressing is not dangerous. Unprepared overhead pressing is expensive. Overhead work is usually better tolerated when we have pain-free shoulder flexion, the ribs don't flare like we're trying to show off our abs, and the neck doesn't take over like an overprotective parent. So we earn it with a regression ladder. Landmine press first, high incline dumbbell press next. Then half-kneeling single-arm dumbbell press. Then strict overhead press. And we keep our pressing angle in the scapular plane, slightly forward of the side, instead of forcing an elbows-out position that our shoulder hates. If overhead work feels pinchy, we don't force it. We reduce range, reduce load, or switch the variation and build tolerance. Now the tendinopathy rule that saves shoulders. Modern shoulder rehab is usually not total rest. It's progressive loading. If pain is high and easily triggered, we start with very light isometrics or light resistance. If symptoms are manageable, we progress to slow strengthening. Then we earn heavier strength and more range over time. That's how tendons adapt. We can use a simple pain scale. Mild discomfort during the set can be okay if symptoms settle within 24 hours and strength is not trending downward. Sharp pain, escalating night pain, sudden weakness, or symptoms that keep rising is our cue to back off and get assessed. Now let's hit the 2 silent saboteurs, sleep posture and desk posture. Because shoulder rehab doesn't end when we leave the gym. If we compress the painful shoulder for 7 hours, the rotator cuff will file a complaint by morning. So we don't sleep directly on the painful shoulder when it's irritated. If we're a side sleeper, we hug a pillow to support the top arm so it doesn't collapse forward. If we sleep on our back, we can place a small pillow under the affected arm so the shoulder isn't dragged forward all night. Then desk posture. We're not going to pretend posture is a moral failure or the single cause of pain. Posture is just a load position. Our body can tolerate many positions, but it dislikes being stuck in one position all day. So we bring the keyboard and mouse closer. We support the elbows when possible. We stop reaching forward for hours like we're trying to pet a cat that hates us. And we take 30 to 60 second breaks. 10 band pull-aparts, a wall slide, a quick row. Enough to remind the shoulder blade it has a job. Now let's wrap this into a simple weekly plan. Daily, we do the 5-minute protocol. On training days, we warm up with 1 to 2 light cuff, scap sets before pressing. We match pressing with pulling, and we avoid surprise volume jumps. If we're already irritated, we bias the week toward rows, face pulls, and controlled pressing variations. Then we progress slowly until the shoulder is calm again. Here's the longevity compass bottom line. Shoulder longevity isn't about babying the joint forever. It's about building stabilizers, scapular control, and realistic programming so we can keep pressing, pulling, and living with confidence. If this episode helped, hit like and subscribe. Check the description for tools and affiliate links that match today's episode, plus our Longevity Compass Amazon KDP book. And comment 5 minutes if you're committing to the daily protocol for the next 14 days. We'll be in the comments keeping those shoulders pressing forever.